Are these foods actually bad for your health? Some of the food choices you're making today may be based on old wives' tales you grew up with, or even misinformation in the media. Fads influence the foods we regard as healthy. The following foods that you may be avoiding based on facts are surprisingly good for your health. Canned or frozen vegetables. Most people have the notion that vegetables can only be good if they're bought and eaten fresh. Although it is true that eating fresh and raw is an excellent lifestyle and health choice, the modern canning process preserves nearly all the nutrients in the veggies. You may want to read the label to look for low-sodium alternatives, as too much sodium is not good for your body. Let's be honest, sometimes the canned and frozen veggies save the day, as it's truly convenient when you have a busy day and come home to find these friends hiding in the pantry or fridge. Potatoes. The only potato that's bad for you is a couch potato. If you think of potatoes, what comes to mind is the word starchy. Despite this fact, when you avoid eating this versatile veggie, you may miss out on the loads of potassium, vitamins C and B6, manganese, phosphorus, niacin, folate, and the fiber benefits. Mind you, these benefits come as a full package if you eat it with the skin. There are many ways to incorporate potatoes into your diet without having them as fries. Of course, oven-baked fries are still good, but potatoes can be added to stews and soups. A baked potato is a quick way to add a filler to your meals. When I say potato, please say potato. Food containing gluten. Not long ago, gluten-free became the buzzword on everybody's lips. Without doing any research, people adopted the notion that gluten is bad for your health and should therefore be avoided at all costs. Gluten is a protein found in wheat and in some grains, but some people seem to experience difficulties digesting it. Gluten has been linked to lowering the risk of type 2 diabetes and is of benefit to the cardiovascular system. When people stop eating gluten, they may feel dizzy, nauseous, extremely hungry, and even experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Columbia University researchers have found that patients with celiac disease, which is the big name for extreme gluten sensitivity, have reported that they became increasingly sensitive to gluten after maintaining a gluten-free diet for a time. Therefore, it's important to note that you may create gluten sensitivity in your body if you avoid gluten without having this disease. Bread. I have definitely heard the facts myself that bread makes you fat. But who can resist the smell of freshly baked bread? Bread is kind of just a collective term for a variety of high-carb foods. It largely depends on the bread choices you make. Yes, stale white bread made of refined carbs is not your best choice. But if you opt for a high-fiber, grain-rich loaf, it is a very nutritious item on your plate that will leave you satisfied and full. Choose bread options with more than 3 grams of dietary fiber per serving. Health experts recommend a multigrain option, and the only downside to this is that these types of breads sometimes seem a little more expensive. Table salt. There was a fad a while ago when products claiming to be low salt hit the market. Other companies tried to convince you that sea or kosher salt was a better alternative. The American Heart Association pointed out that all these salts have the same amount of sodium as the less expensive common table salt. We all know that we have to take cognizance of the amount of salt we consume. However, if you cut salt from your diet altogether, you may be causing more harm than good. The recommended intake per day should be less than 2.3 milligrams. Sodium helps your nervous system as well as your muscular system to perform their functions. And let's be honest, without a little salt, life might become quite bland. Coffee. For those suffering from coffee addiction, there is actually some good news. Coffee is not bad for your health, but there are a few rules to follow. Coffee should be drunk in moderation. An average adult can roughly have 4 cups of coffee per day without it becoming detrimental to your health. If you tend to suffer from sleeplessness, you have to determine a cutoff time before bed to stop consuming caffeine. Just be mindful of the sweeteners and creamers that you add to each cup. Some research claims that coffee can lower the likelihood of type 2 diabetes, liver and endometrial cancers, heart disease, and even Parkinson's disease or depression. That is, if you believe the Harvard School of Public Health. Coffee addicts would tend to want to take them at their word, as a day without coffee is a wasted day for many. Egg yolks. Have you perhaps heard in the past that you should avoid eating egg yolks? That they're bad for your health? Although there are mixed research results out there, the overwhelming conclusion seems to be that eggs contain monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids that actually boost the good HDL cholesterol in your body. People tend to pair eggs with processed meats, which are often problematic and unhealthy food choices. For people following a vegan lifestyle, this might be a bite of useless information. Popcorn. Think movies, and the image of a box of popcorn might spontaneously pop up in your mind. Unfortunately, that specific popcorn may not be such a good option if you want to eat healthy. The butter and the oil added, as well as the large quantities of salt, are the culprits. Air-popped popcorn is a great snack to fill up on, as it contains beneficial whole grains. Not only is it easy to make at home, but it's quite affordable, and you have the control to only lightly season it. I heard a little birdie tell me that eating popcorn is good for your heart. I suspect it will also be equally good for your soul. Chocolate. Of course, too much of anything isn't good for you, and some chocolates are just a bunch of sugar with a little cacao. But when you opt for a good quality dark chocolate, it's actually good for your body. Dark chocolate contains flavonols, which are rich plant chemicals that play a detoxification role in the body. The antioxidants are linked to lowering the risk of heart disease. I don't think it'll take much convincing to tell anybody to have a piece of dark chocolate every once in a while. Most people crave a sweet thing from time to time, and if you do not particularly like the taste of dark chocolate, you'll soon develop one if you stop eating large amounts of sugary things. So there you have it. Go make yourself a well-deserved cup of coffee as you try to digest this new information we shared today. Information is power. Did you find some of these foods surprising? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Please subscribe to our channel and join us as we uncover healthy lifestyle tips and information that would surely benefit your journey towards increased physical health.